Tail of tape, it's the main event here at FNC 27. The heavyweight championship is on the line. The defending champion, Ivan VITASOVIC, is the younger fighter, slightly less experienced. And ultimately, that 12-fight unbeaten streak for the challenger across 8 years, Hatef Moeil.
Well, we know what Moeil is going to bring to this. He's going to try and finish it early. I doubt very much if he wants to do 5 rounds. As I said, VITASOVIC fights faster and lighter than a heavyweight. And Hatef Moeil needs to land heavy, and he needs to land quick, because he'll be outboxed by VITASOVIC. And I've been so impressed at VITASOVIC's ability to survive. Oh, Hatef Moeil goes for a single leg takedown. Down he takes his man, and this could be a problematic start to this fight for the champ.
And everybody seems to underestimate that this guy could get over there and get a hold of you in that kind of ungainly approach and get you down quickly. Ivan VITASOVIC will have drilled for this for sure. I know they were working on it, but this is a big feather in the cap.
Yeah, Hatef Moeil goes in early, single leg, takes his man down, and you best believe this guy sits heavy. But VITASOVIC, all in a day's work, you can see he's unperturbed, and then I've seen him take incredible pressure against Andrzejak at KSW. Andrzejak, the bigger man, absolutely massive, absolutely pummeling away at VITASOVIC. And at the end of the bout, VITASOVIC in the 3rd round took a win that I thought was impossible. But here we go, and Moeil on top, trying to get the ground and pound off, but he can't because he's being spoiled by the champ, and that's great defensive work.
It is. You can almost see VITASOVIC smiling as if to say, you can't hurt me here. I can bicep pummel. I can deal with this.
It's quite cheeky wink to the corner.
Yeah, he's quite obviously happy to listen to his corner right here in front of him and work his way off this knee shield to a better position. Hatef Moeil is doing the right thing to stall him, though. Make him work.
Well, on top, pummeling away. And VITASOVIC happy to smile, but that may belie a certain element of jeopardy that he may feel, because I don't think Hatef Moeil will let him up from that position unless he can escape, which he manages to do. But he's now found himself, well, I thought in a guillotine position, but he's not, and that puts him back down on his back again. And VITASOVIC has said, "All right, I've had enough of this."
Exceptional reshot here, though, from Hatef Moeil. So smart. VITASOVIC was keeping 3 points of contact to stay grounded. Moeil is really game. And a lot of guys, they look at it and they think, I can deal with it. Oh, this is annoying. 2 rounds later. Oh, no. And all of a sudden, they're just drowning out there. That's what happened to Miran Fabian.
I don't often see that. VITASOVIc doing a bit of showboating, bringing the crowd in, taking the time out there, obviously confident that he can deal with Moeil. Needs to have a care, I would suspect, but he's doing such a great job here of spoiling Hatef Moeil, knowing, of course, that there's only so much in Moeil's tank. He's hanging onto that single leg and he puts his man on the back again. And VITASOVIc, well, trying to get up, but not quite making it.
Again, the single leg finish here nearly from Hatef Moeil is so awkward looking, but it's so effective. The way he literally is able to go from his knees, grab right underneath the kneecap, and just dump you right back down off the single.
Championship title fight, defending champion VITASOVIc spent the first part of this defense on his back against the wire, and almost like the Velcro kid, Hatef Moeil dominating from top. Not done a lot of damage, and the champ still very confident and comfortable, but Moeil pressurizing. That top pressure, that weight, 116 keys there at the weigh-in. He's putting all that into play here. But VITASOVIc almost joking with the crowd and showboating, but Moeil serious about his work.
And this is the big question, I think, for VITASOVIc at this point. If he can't get the grips away, if he can't use the fence to get back up, does he just kind of wait? Because Moeil is doing virtually no damage to him right now. And there's only 50 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, so it's a whole round almost wasted by Moeil in that position. And VITASOVIc, well, hasn't used a lot of energy, and he can do it. He's got the cardio to do it, but he's not sustained too much heavy pressure. And, you know, it's the big shots that we're worried about from Moeil. And the German using an awful lot of energy and pressure there. But VITASOVIc, as you say, will have trained for this. But he finds himself now away from the wire, but probably in a little spot of bother as that side control position from Hatef Moeil will keep him there, but he's up against the clock.
Listen, the boss has got a lot of weight between his hips and his shoulders, and that, again, is very difficult to deal with because of his body type. And all the smiling from VITASOVIC is great, but to me, that's wasted energy when you've ended up here.
End of the first round, and it's not as if we've seen VITASOVIC at his best. Skips up, goes to his corner, but he spent the whole round on his back.
Not a lot of damage received, though. And again, Moeil is just going to look at that and say, yes, I can get him down, but now he needs to get something more significant because the judges are going to look at that as just a changing of position without anything meaningful scoring from the result of that.
Well, I think that's a big surprise for VITASOVIC. I think at one stage he was probably thinking this was going to be a battle of the fist, but just talk us through the takedowns.
Single leg finish here from Moeil was just phenomenal. You could see him really, all of a sudden, right when he knew he wasn't going to be able to run the pipe or crack the leg down, just go in very deep and get his weight all the way up against the fence on VITASOVIC. VITASOVIC just calling out here, flapping gums. But to me, the boss has proved a point.
Yeah, I can work with you on the ground, and I'm happy to go the whole 5. So, up off his stool and ready for 2. Put an end to Fabian's run. That was at his FNC debut in May. So, knows how to handle himself against the big hitters. But VITASOVIC is looking braver. And his durability. We were discussing earlier, what did the German press use to describe VITASOVIC, Chris?
He could be a bus driver, he could be a fruit picker.
He just looks so normal. And look at what he does. He just can resist so much pressure, so much punishment, but then he can deliver fight-finishing blows. And Hatef Moeil trying to get his man down, giving everything for the takedown, and does it eventually. Beautifully done, though.
Perfect. Literally perfect wrestling. Beautiful shot, got right underneath the base. You know, the key is always getting underneath the base of your opponent and taking them off a stable position. He's done that beautifully here in 2 rounds. Within a minute or so of the first, and here under a minute in the second.
Well, up until that point, VITASOVIC was sweet on his feet, but on the deck here now, and not able to sustain this. He's having to work to keep VITASOVIc on the ground with no discernible dominating position, just still hanging on to that single leg. Now he's made some moves, now he's on the inside and he can get to work. But interesting that he's been spoiled all the way. A great defense again from VITASOVIC, the champion.
Yeah, and the key thing is he's avoiding any of the results coming from this takedown. You know, there's no submission attempts, there's no damage really coming in, but Moeil is able to lock his arms on VITASOVIC's legs or his upper body like you see here, and that just seems something VITASOVIC doesn't have an answer for.
Well, he's up, but he's in a guillotine, and Moeil doesn't have the crank to hold it. VITASOVIC slips, he's in the upright now, and just under 3 minutes for VITASOVIC to start scoring, because so far Moeil's ahead. He's had the pressure and he's had the shots off, very marginally, and as you say, nothing significant for the judges to latch onto, but the aggression and the pressure is definitely coming from the German fighter.
This will be very interesting if we can get a counter here from VITASOVIc. That's what he was looking for, a figure 4 counter. I have a feeling the boss is going to be able to block that, though. You can see already he's trying to walk the right wrist inside his right hip to stop that. No more lever, says VITASOVIc. I have to let go.
Well, that looked like it could be show-stopping, and it shows the danger of the champion in an awkward position. He can still get the moves on, but this time we've seen Moeil get busy, push on that grinding position. And what this does is it allows Moeil to grind his opponent down without using too much energy himself. He doesn't want to be in the upright boxing for 3, 4, 5 rounds. This is good. He's using his weight. VITASOVIc has to work, and the fuel tank being emptied all the time.
Yeah, kind of a page out of the KSW champ Phil DeFries's book here. A little less damaging, but certainly very difficult to deal with.
Now this is going to be attritional. It's going to be grinding. The crowd sense it. They're whistling as if they want more action, but it is full fat action all the way. The intricacies of the inside game of chess here that is MMA, the nuances on the ground, this is what counts. Moeil's working very well and hard.
And those few punches right here were very important because that's like the first time in nearly 4 minutes that Moeil has been able to actually score under the criteria. And that's going to be important. Well, he got the takedown in the first round. I think VITASOVIC landed a couple of punches, which the judges, depending on what they saw, are going to score for him. So there's not a lot between this pair.
But still dominating. Moeil keeping VITASOVIC pinned down against the wire. And that's another grueling round for VITASOVIC, having to defend and having to escape the position. And Moeil looks like he could do this all day long.
I think it's the right decision here, for sure. Now, with 30 seconds left, who's tired?
Well, it looks like Moeil, and VITASOVIC knows it. And he bangs in, he's probably going to win this round by landing these big shots. But the left eye of VITASOVIC looks pretty damaged from the wear and tear of being on the ground. And Hatef Moeil almost looks stationary.
This could be massive here for VITASOVIC. If he can land some big punches and kicks, he could steal this.
Yeah, and he looks to be going to work here. The clock up against VITASOVIC, but Hatef Moeil taking big shots. And there we go. And almost slumping back to his corner. And UFD gym coaches shouting at Moeil that you've got to do more and see if you can survive. Can he do 5 rounds?
We've seen it before. We've seen him win 5 rounders before. And we've seen him get very tired in fights and find a second wind. Who knows what's going to happen here, Will?
Well, just take us through the tail of this tape.
Wild action on the inside. VITASOVIC here boxing once he stood up like his life depended on it. Here Moeil chasing the single. VITASOVIC fishing for the figure 4 counter. Of course, that was defended by the challenger. Here an exchange on the feet where we saw the hands open up from Ivan VITASOVIC, the champ. Some urgency there at the end of the second, despite looking a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, it's hard to think, looking at Hatef Moeil, that he can go the 5. VITASOVIC, a lot of damage on that left eye. But I've seen him look worse than this and come back. That's the thing about VITASOVIC. He is literally, you've got to put unfinishable. And then it comes out crisp, the champion in the 3rd round. Defends the takedown, wants to keep it stand up, wants to out-punch the challenger.
He's got to defend the takedown here. He's got to circle and get off the fence. He cannot let the same mistake happen.
Shots, making good connections. And Moeil comes forward, sort of sluggishly, lurches forward. VITASOVIC looking to work the counter, but gets caught again on the wire. Escapes.
Nice boxing here again from VITASOVIC. He's just got to work the body, go upstairs, but not get too greedy. Cut angles, enter, exit, rinse and repeat.
And the pace is settled down. Clean hands. VITASOVIC again goes downstairs, brings upstairs with the hands. Clean shots again. How many can Hatef Moeil take of those clean shots? He's being banged out here by VITASOVIC. VITASOVIC rolling. Moeil not really throwing cleanly or accurately, and just getting picked off at distance by VITASOVIC. Hence, I think the strategy of trying to take VITASOVIC down and keeping the champ pinned down. But in the upright, well, the champ has the upper hand.
He's got to continue to box smart, though. If he's tired, he needs to recuperate in this round. The last thing he wants to do is allow Hatef Moeil an opportunity to take him down easily, and that has happened. Too easily, in my view.
Well, the champ showing signs of wear and tear. Moeil just lurching forward. Just look at the shoulders of Moeil. Nice little slipsy Ashiba ride there, the trick to offset the contender. Moeil moves forward, he's searching for that single leg, he's got it, and again he forces the champ down, and this is where Moeil goes to work if he can get the ground and pound to work. Oh, it's Not pretty, any of it. But grinding and attritional. But the champion has got to do some work here. And I said that left eye was causing problems. Just look at the damage that Moeil has caused there. Actually, mostly with his head.
A lot of head pressure here from Moeil. That takedown happened way too easily. VITASOVIC cannot allow this. And he accepted it. You could see him just flop and lock up half here. He's exhausted. Both fighters are tired. But this is the kind of fight that the challenger loves and thrives in the championship rounds.
Well, this is trouble city for VITASOVIC. The champ looks like he's throwing away his belt. Moeil finding a way in here. From that top position, he can finish this if he can get the energy to keep the volume going. VITASOVIC is shut down, trying desperately to get away from that position on the wire. This is trouble city.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to suck in and play half, or if he's going to try to tripod up. There's a couple of ways to get out of this here, but he is so tired right now. And Hatef Moeil is so dominant with those grips, and so heavy, and so tight. And he's just so awkward the way he finds leverage to get those punches in.
Ruthless top game from the challenger. And VITASOVIC, while he's surviving, just taking too much pressure, too many shots. Just out of interest, if it went to judges' scorecards, who would we say has got the upper hand? Because they've both had their moments, but the pressure has definitely been from the challenger.
It has. I feel like, though, if we're looking at the criteria, there was enough for VITASOVIC to take rounds 1 and 2. Just, especially at the tail end of round 2. This is becoming more debatable, though.
VITASOVIC taking so much damage, that left eye, and he's just remained in that position. Moeil crowded him, pressurized him. Now he's got side control. Well, he's got the time to do this if he can get the knees to work. This has just been tough and relentless for VITASOVIC. Half a minute left in the third round, but Moeil not really doing the work he needs to in this position. Everything concentrated on keeping VITASOVIc on his back.
Agreed, there could be more output for sure, but he was able to pass. There were some good elbows coming in. His body shots are all good investment, good money in the bank. VITASOVIc is exhausted right now, Will.
Yeah, this could be the finisher, but I don't think it's going to happen in this round. 10-second clapper's gone, and towards the end of the round, it's Moeil really punishing VITASOVIc. All he can do is defend. And the third, this is getting to be dangerously grueling.
We got to fight, for sure. Moeil just took that round, and he looked exhausted in the second round. I thought his cardio was pretty much gone. And then all of a sudden, VITASOVIc was exhausted. So you can see the gambit at play.
Yeah, it's a toing and throwing game, and the pendulum swings. Just looking at the great attempt at throwing those hands, VITASOVIc, at the beginning of the round and connecting. But then on the ground, the weight, the sheer pressure, the top pressure from Moeil, keeping VITASOVIc in that pressurized position against the wire, and then Moeil just delivering damage all the way. But I've seen VITASOVIc come back from that.
No matter who wins this fight, it'll have been a comeback. That's the beauty.
Yeah, both men dangerously low on juice going into the fourth. It's a 5-round championship bout. The FNC World Heavyweight Championship belt on the line. No one's going to want to give this up. VITASOVIc has held it so long. Fourth defense of the title. Hard won, hard kept. Hatef Moeil fought his way through various promotions to come into contention here. So, round 4. VITASOVIc, the better boxer of the two, just has to get in close enough to do the damage. And he can bang VITASOVIc. And just look at him go! The left hand clips Moeil, and Moeil says, yeah, all right, I'll have that. And they stand and trade in the center of the ring. This is all about endurance, it's about heart. Just look at them, grind it out in the center.
And the problem again, VITASOVIc just backs off, the combinations are landing. Moeil will take a few to find this, to find grips. This is nuts, Will. Ooh, VITASOVIc maybe has a choke? No, he's going to go for a 100%er here. And this is the problem. Every single time Moeil gets his hands together, there is no way on earth the champ can get him undone. And down he goes. Now, if Moeil gets what he got going in the last round, you know, this could be, well, a robbery unfolding here of the title.
Absolutely. It was always going to be grinding. It was always going to be super attritional. But up on the wire, VITASOVIC has a huge task on his hands. And I've got to say that Moeil just gets that energy from somewhere, using the weight. And classic, if you like, Phil de Vries, heavy top weight game. Oh, VITASOVIC slips. Oh, and escapes. And that was careless. Up to the upright. Now, has the champ got the energy? Has he got the one shot that could send Moeil into Wobble Street so that the champ can finish this? He gets tied up, and that's the problem. Messi needs to break free. Look at what Moeil's doing. As you said, Chris, walking his man to the wire, and then from there downstairs for the single leg, he'll take him down, and the champ will spend the whole round on his back.
And that's where the footwork's got to improve. That's where the cage awareness has got to improve. That's where you need a rear view mirror. Because what you don't want is more of this. You know it's working. Your hands were working at the start of this round, and you threw it away.
Moeil came with a strategy, and he's on top now. That mount position, VITASOVIC knows he's got to escape. He's given up his back. Moeil knows VITASOVIC can't be finished easily. He's going to work him, grind him down. And, you know, some fighters come with a strategy and it's completely the wrong one. Well, Hatef Moeil has come with the winning strategy here, potentially, against the champion, Ivan VITASOVIC. And VITASOVIC looks absolutely spent. He is fighting on honor and pure heart alone.
Yeah, highly effective fighting here from Hatef Moeil. It's not necessarily the most eye-catching stuff, but it is so effective. I don't know how many takedowns he's completed in this fight, but it's very high, and that's impressive. And his cardio, again, it just seems to completely fade, but then with some presence of mind, there's a resurrection that happens.
Yeah, and he's done a brilliant job of disrupting the champ's game plan. He's just erased it. It's not been tidy, as you've said, Chris, but it wins. And, you know, this is not a ballet, this is an MMA bout, and the championship belt is on. And you gotta, by hook or by crook, you've got to deliver here. And VITASOVIC is doing everything and anything he can, but that weight of Hatef Moeil is just oppressive. It must be like being in a heat wave with a duvet on top and somebody just turned on the heating as well. Here we go. Moeil goes to work. Can the champ survive, really? That's what we've got to say. Just under a minute left in this fourth round.
And the difference in the look on VITASOVIC's face just now compared to round one when it was all fun and games, that tells you the whole story here, Will.
Absolutely. You know, this has been ferocious. Moeil now in a great position. Side control. Can he get the arms, the elbows to work? This could be a very defining moment. If it goes to the fifth, we're going to see more of the same. If it goes to judges' scorecards, definitely Hatef Moeil, I think, has done enough. He's been the aggressor and he's dominated. And there is obviously a big question that when you come to beat the champion, you've got to beat the champion. But Hatef Moeil doing a good job at trying.
You might suffocate him here, Will. He's literally completely blocked off his whole face. What a round. What a fight.
Well, full of confidence. Hatef Moeil goes back to his corner. The game plan for VITASOVIC. I'm sure there was no lack of training, no lack of preparation. I just think the game plan. You're right, Chris. The hands of VITASOVIC in the upright. If his footwork was energized enough to keep him out of trouble, to move and pick Hatef Moeil off at distance. It's just coming in and then getting tied up.
And that's not taking anything away from the chin of Hatef Moeil, because he's taken some big punches for sure. However, he's also shown a little bit of elusiveness and the right time to commit. That's such a well-drilled game plan. Once they had the cage cut off, once they had VITASOVIC on the back foot enough, he just kind of reaches down, grabs your single leg, and doesn't let go.
Well, it's the fifth and final round. for the FNC World Heavyweight Championship title. Ivan VITASOVIC, defending champ, takes on challenger Hatef Moeil. Any numbers, any preconceived ideas you had about this bout? They go for nothing. It's all or nothing for both men now. We thought there'd be a cardio problem with both of them. We thought that there would be difficulties going the full 5 championship rounds, but Hatef Moeil has come with a strategy and a plan. That's it being executed there right now, pulling up the champion on the wire, single leg takedown, and grinding him atrociously into hamburger.
Literally, chucking him into the blender and turning up the speed. Let's see what Moeil can do here. He's got a potential choke, Will.
Wow. Well, he has, yeah, you're right. Arm triangle. The champion in trouble here. This could mark the beginning of the end. It's a tap out. That's it. Against the odds, Hatef Moeil has done it. Salom Halichatori. Hello, the new FNC champion from Iran via Germany. Hatef Moeil, the new FNC Heavyweight Champion of the world.
Outstanding first career submission win. He does it via anaconda choke. That was very slick. And VITASOVIC was exhausted there, Will. Massive comeback from Hatef Moeil. I had him losing the first 2 rounds. That was dominant.
The UFD have 2 new champions in the roster, and graciously Moeil goes to check on VITASOVIC. But VITASOVIC, a man who I would have said was very difficult to beat, very difficult indeed. As I say, you need to put a stake through his heart. The Djokovic brothers, obviously from UFD Gym, they're happy with that as their value goes through the roof. But talk us through this, Chris.
What a way to come out. It was the most unlikely of outcomes. Moeil via 5th round submission, and VITASOVIC was in some serious trouble. He was so tired, and that's the best time to jump on that submission. Gorgeous. Excellent technique here by Hatef Moeil.
The strategy worked. The gas still in the tank. And, well, still got some left. I think he punched the cameraman there in overexcitement. But, yeah, there will be a lot of disappointment that VITASOVIC has gone. But, you know, becoming champion is one thing. Remaining champion is a completely different task. And Hatef Moeil,
and ladies and gentlemen, the end comes after 44 seconds completed of round number 5. Your winner by way of Dar's choke, and he's the new heavyweight FNC World Champion, Hatef the Boss Moeil.